Hello Lost Wandering YouTubers, it's me Sir on Tam, and I'm just going to do a video here about how I upload and edit my, well no, not how I upload my videos, just how I edit the videos. So it's a little bit of a long video, but I'm going to try and condense it to as close to 10 minutes as possible, so I'm going to do a bit of speed editing, or just, excuse me, cut some bits out. You will notice, because you can probably hear everything that is going on. You'll be able to hear cars going outside, you'll be able to hear the echo in my room, you will be able to hear the button mashing of my keys quite clearly. That is because I'm using a new microphone, and I've been trying to slip that into all the intense games that I've been playing, and because I'm a moron and can't speak while I play very well, I won't have made that very obvious. So, this is the example that you're being shown now is what happens when you capture your own PC or Mac footage. You'll find the preview is on the screen. I'm using the beta version, but it will work in the stable alpha. You'll just get this big wall of mirrors. Don't worry about that. That's perfectly normal. Failing that, you can always just hit the stop button and test everything in the edit feature. So, you'll also notice the game audio that I have is coming out in one channel of stereo out rather than two. That is because it's treating my live commentary down here, my microphone, as... Wait, did the microphone just get the... Why is it going huge? And you'll also be able to hear the clock going downstairs, which means I should probably stop for lunch at some stage. But, lunch at 2:30. So, yeah, don't worry about that. I'm going to show you how to sort that out first. So what you need to do is you need to go into your Finder where you need to go into your Finder. So first you need to go into your Finder and go into your Game Capture HD library, wherever it is. Wherever it is. This will be the same sort of precept in the Windows version. So just find the episode that you want to edit. So for example, there's a God, how much do I have? There's an episode of Mortal Kombat that I did recently. So what I'm going to do is, because I've organised it all into folders based on the game, I'm just going to drag it in there. So you'll see. I'll give you a preview. I just need to find the right. 20 minutes 51, 22:45, or 0. Right, well, we don't want that one. It's just a game of kind of trial and error, finding which audio you're going to use. Oh, man, the circumstances have not changed in the slightest. It's probably that one. So if you can't decide between either of these, the best course of action is to just drag them into a digital audio workstation of some kind, both, and see what happens in there. Now I'm using Logic because I am an Apple fanboy, and also I make a lot of stuff, recording stuff and dubsteppy stuff in my spare time when I have some. Other than YouTube. I have a life other than YouTube and games. So for Logic at least, just drag it in there. You'll be able to do it in Audacity as well. Audacity is free. I'll just show it to you. Where is Audacity? Bollocks. Just very quickly, you can do the same sort of thing in Audacity by going File and Import, or Control on Windows, Command on Mac, Command-Shift-I. Or not. Alright. Yeah. Command-Shift-I. And just going in the same way to your folder where you want to get stuff, and import it through there. And it will elapse the media and give you a big preview. So once you've found out which audio file you're going to use for your commentary, because Game Capture HD exports, at least it does for me, the game audio separately, which you can just preview, and it'll just go like that, which is fine. And I can tell that's Mortal Kombat. Yeah, you can hear all the stuff in the background. So once you've found the audio that you want to use, take a look here where it says Commentary 2 on this fader. There'll be something similar in whatever audio workstation you're using with. You can see it's only recording the left side of the left side of audio. Now that's because Game Capture HD takes whatever signal it finds as stereo, I think. And because I'm using a mono condenser microphone, it's only showing up in the left channel. So there's a very easy way of doing that, in Logic at least. Yeah, if you change the input to mono, then it'll show up as mono. There you go. So that's fine. Now, because it's kind of quiet in relation to the game video, or maybe I'm just playing it quietly through my headphones, but anyway, I'm finding it a bit quiet. So there'll be some other way to normalize, magnify the waveform of your sound destructively, but basically you just need to make it louder in some form or other. I tend not to use the faders because they're limited to +6 decibels in Logic, but you guys can do it however you want. Make it louder as you see fit. Might even need to use an exciter on this. Just the important thing is make it louder to how you see fit. So once you're finished and your levels are how you want them, you export the audio. So I usually in Logic set a loop back to the start. It will be useful to set a loop in other workstations such as Audacity, because then when it exports, it will only export what is in the loop, and it will show you clear options in Audacity for that at least. Make the loop just over the length of your audio, and in Logic bounce it, and in Audacity file export, yada yada yada. Export it as .mp3 because that is a format which is usually really it's really compatible between all platforms. So go for that. What was it? Commentary 3 that it was called. I don't know. It was there first. Let's just use. Don't be afraid to make new files because audio won't take up too much space. So while that's exporting, do a bit of Facebook, do a bit of Twitter, do whatever. There's Crystal. Yeah. So once you've exported your audio, you'll find it here, and you can test it out like this.
What's that?
Which is fine. And you can hear it in both headphones because it was in a mono settings. So actually, that's all you need Logic for. That is all you need Logic for. So next, what I tend to do is open up DaVinci, because that's what I use to edit videos. Yeah, I don't know the actual lyrics to Duel of the Fates, but good enough. So, this is the project manager, how I have it arranged. Default, it will come arranged like this. I just prefer to have things in this kind of order. You can arrange things by name, the date they were modified, how many timelines it has, the format it's in, the frame rate, the date created, and a note. But I don't put any notes in mine because I'm just kind of lazy. So I just like to have them alphabetical, and there they are, nice and ordered alphabetically. So I've made a new folder for where I want to put my video, and I will just make a new project. Now sometimes what can help is basing your titles off of what actually happens in the game. So let's just have a little scroll through here.
Right.
This was a challenge tower, wasn't it? This is Living Towers. Living Towers.
No!
Living Towers.
Oh no!
Cool, right. So now we have your file ready. So you'll see this media page down here. You'll find the tab for media storage device. Oh no! You'll find the tab for media storage device, and just go into your folder where you have everything saved. And everything will be in there as you found it. So, first and most important thing to do, I would say, is get the thing with the highest frame rate, the footage with the highest frame rate in the media pool, because then that'll change the project settings to the frame rate that you want. Now, because this Xbox footage was done at 60 frames per second, and the preview is not going into... Oh no, the frame rate's going at 24 frames per second because the project is default set to 24. So drag this into the media pool, and you'll see the prompt coming up saying it's got a different frame rate. Change it, and then you'll be able to play it in 60 frames per second.
You're being a...
Let's do something that's not a loading screen.
Woman.
Yeah, there you go. It'll be a little laggy in the preview because you're previewing the video through your video editor, which is using up a lot of RAM as it is anyway. So don't worry about that. Just chill with that. Final commentary is what we need, and then we need the game audio. So this is recorded in mono, both headphones, and this is recorded in stereo, both headphones. Don't really need any of these three anymore, but I keep them anyway, just in case I have some critical crash. And this is all we really need, unless you have audio from a video camera, in which case you can drag that in after you've put the game footage in there. And you'll be able to tweak around the sound with that as well. Now the next thing that I do is I synchronize the audio between my game video, my game audio, and my final commentary, because you'll see this. What we do is we drag. First of all, we drag the footage into the editor. Then we got to do a little bit of scrolling around and finding where we have put things. So you can see me in the background in the left headphone.
Well,
because
after 20 minutes of contemptuous faffing around. Actually, hang on. Can I turn this into? No, I can't turn it into. All right. Well, I'll just edit the audio in Logic. So,
yeah, that's what I was talking about with the
after
single
some real contemptuous
audio.
faffing around. Fuck's sake.
Oh, excuse that language.
Let's resynchronize this. So going between
So
Silverfist
this is what I do.
Silverfist and a Soda Strider.
This is what I try to do. Now you can hear from the click in the microphone from the Xbox One controller that audio is not synced up with the video. So what I need to do is mute this audio track here at some point. It might be useful to have in fact to have a reference with between the final commentary and the game audio. So that's something for future reference for me, you handsome devil. All this is just a task of lining up things in a very pedantic manner, but it should be fine. And you can usually gauge this from the waveform of the two tracks. So let's just have a listen to this.
Chill. All right.
So there's 4 clicks. 3, 2, 1.
Chill.
Start. Right.
Try
What's
it.
going on here? Right. So this one in the lower track lines up with this one here. So all I've got to do, because the waveform looks like a triangle, I tend to line it up with the peak. But there's not much difference because between one frame doesn't do much. So we'll locate it at the start. Earliest possible reactions. So that is literally all we do. And let's just have a look at these. So you can hear from the small amounts of clicking. So now they're close enough. We don't need this now. But of course, now the video isn't lined up properly. So what we have to do is we have to guide by the actual video what we are supposed to do. So I do this at the closest possible frame again. 49, 50, 1, 2, 3. There's no need to even count it. Just find where it changes frame roughly. And it's here. So this is where the start of this click needs to line up. So. And that's fine. That's perfect. That's great. Now all we need to do is line up the game audio. And that again is done in the same way. Now because Game Capture HD records game audio much, how can I say this? Because it records game audio separately, it takes as much of the audio as it possibly can out of your capture. So sometimes your game audio won't line up with what's going on your screen, because this is about 20 odd minutes worth of, this is 22 minutes worth of footage, and there's nearly nothing going on in the game audio. So that must have been me contemptuously faffing around with my capture settings. So we'll drag these, highlight them, and line them up at the end with the end of the clip. Now, the reason it lines up automatically, stuff will line up automatically with the cursor, the playback line in my capture, and it will also line up with the ends of clips in my capture. That's because I have the magnet snapping on. You can just change that from there. It's very easy. Also, you won't see me clicking these much because I have keyboard shortcuts laid out. Basically, when you install DaVinci at first startup, you'll get a prompt saying if you want to use any keyboard shortcuts from laid out programs, like Final Cut Pro X, ScreenFlow, and Sony Vegas. So you can choose that if you like, or you can use DaVinci's default control scheme, which is fine. So, alright, that's what it is. So we need to go back here, resynchronize our game audio with what is going on in the real world, in our real video audio stuff. So where are we moving stuff around? Alright, those look like 4 evenly spaced objects, so chill. So let's line these up very roughly. And as you can see, it's not lining up quite where I want it to. Let's just test it here, because I know... Well, actually, that's very, very, very close in there. So let's take magnetic snapping off for now. And move this ahead by 2 frames, maybe? Do it 2 at a time. Chill. Alright. Okay, so that's good. That's close now. What we can do now is trim the ends of this so that if anything ends up going out of sync later on, we can snap it all back together. We don't actually need this. And we don't need that. So now we've cleaned everything up and we can view these 3 segments of audio how we wish. Get the full benefit of 60. Great, cool. And this all lines up. Oh. Let's test it with a few hits. Yeah. That looks like it's going to line up. We can check it later in the deliver section when we come to it. And that'll line up perfectly. It'll sound a bit laggy and distorted because, again, it's using the very, very guts of your computer. It needs to use a lot of those. So, next we go on to the splitting of ends.
Hello, Lost Wandering YouTubers.
Now that's when my commentary starts. So,
Hello, Lost.
Let's give it a little bit of time.
Hello, Lost Wandering YouTube.
That's good. Cool. That's not cool because I've turned off magnetic snapping. Now that's cool. Now we can, because the timeline is here, we can have everything spliced and split in the right place, in exactly the same place as well, because of the magnetic snapping. We don't need any more of this. Oh, all right. You haven't split. Oh, because of course you're not linked to the game audio. Cool. So get rid of that, and that's fine. That is all we need. That's pretty well good enough to split the end and say that's a video set. That's good. But of course not. What I like to do, as you see in most videos, is do a little fade from black to the start. That's just done by cross dissolve.
Hello, Lost Wandering YouTubers.
Yeah, I've done a lot of this sort of commentary today, so my voice is a bit shot, which is why I'm a bit croaky now. I also have an intro, which is found in my media pool. Oh no, it's not, because I haven't put it in there. So go back into the media bar and find it. So you go back, you find all your media, including your intro, or my intro rather. Drag it at the start, and then what you can do is you can select the empty space in between and just delete that. That's a nice feature of DaVinci, letting you be able to do that. So I'm just going to go right along to the end of the video. What happened there?
No! Stop!
Oh, right, that's me getting absolutely murked by Liu Kang, which you will enjoy seeing.
That seems like a good place to leave it here. This 2-week thing that I got involved with, this collab thing, I didn't have to go in for the first week, but for the second...
Yeah, that's just me talking contemptuously again.
I've forgotten how to do an outro.
Bye-bye! Great, so that seems like a great place to end it. Crop it. crop it. So split all these off so that we have a nice even end to the video. Great. Cross this off to black so it doesn't just kind of stop. And just in case there's any little bits of audio, any fluffs or anything like that, do a fade at the end just by dragging your mouse up to the side of the audio bar, and you can just drag it with this little tab. That's a nice feature of DaVinci. It's got great little shortcuts. So now let's look at it from the start.
Hello, Lost Wandering YouTubers, it's me, Cyril Tam, and welcome to this Let's
Okay,
Play Mortal
that's
Kombat.
good. That's great. That works fine, I think. What I think we should do is take account of my commentary, because this waveform down in the bottom in the game audio looks much bigger than the waveform with the final commentary.
Come on.
And indeed it is. So what I do, because there's a limit of how much you can expand audio, I'm going to instead reduce the game audio by about, let's see, 6 decibels. No, other way. -6. Actually, let's see by how much we can raise this. We can raise it. Oh, we can raise it by up to 20 decibels. So in fact, that's okay. We need to take a look though at these ends here so that they don't peak, like with any digital audio workstation, and they'll go a lighter shade of color.
Please, please, so close. So no.
Ah! Why? Why?
Why?
I believe that might be the
Away.
highest point of audio there. But let's just check again.
No! No! What are you on? No! Stop! Oh my god!
Right, let's try this again. Just keep listening back to things.
What are you on? No! Stop! Oh my god!
Right. Okay. So that's all set. We've got all of our levels done, and that didn't take very long at all. This is obviously taking longer because I'm talking to you and pointing you guys out how to do it. So next, we'll cut out the loading screens, which is what I say I do, like, partway through.